DB Corp, as promised, the management is now joining us. Mr. Girish Agarwaal, director at DB Corp. Sir, if you could just first talk to us about Q3. It was a quarter that can be divided into two halves, where festival season was very good. Post demonetization, suddenly you saw demand dropping.
Yeah, very much. So till 8th of November, we were pretty good, happy. Since 8th onwards, things were in a bad shape. So that's the reason overall, if you see the growth of top line is around 6%, which as per the normal estimation could have been almost 14%.
What is your outlook for Q4? Do you think things will normalize, or it will still take a couple of quarters before you see these changes coming in?
I think this normalization need to be understood, because a lot of people are assuming normalization means the growth will come back. I think most of the companies, those who are in red right now, whether it's an automobile company or a real estate company, normalization for them is to come out of red and say, okay, we have no decline. That's the normalization for them. And then they have to come back to whatever growth they were actually getting in their business. So there are two phases. One is to come back to zero growth, which is come out of the red, and then start showing growth. I think looking forward, it should take at least 4 to 5 months time.
Right, but do you think that, in anticipation of that growth pickup, ad spends would become better than what they have been?
I'm really expecting that, because all the possible marketing books say the same thing only. When the markets are down, there's a time for you to advertise and capture the consumer attention. And I hope all the marketers, they understand this fact and start advertising again while they are on the ramp up for the growth.
Right. As far as, with such volatile moves in the ad markets are concerned, do you think pricing has also taken a hit, or pricing has been stable in the previous quarter?
In our case, not in many cases we took any hit on the pricing. I think everybody knows it's a temporary phenomena, so there is no major dip on the pricing. There's no large concern on that.
Right. So that should be taken as a positive, that even in such a volatile market, nobody is coming and becoming aggressive just to get sales.
True. I think that depends on the organization to organization. So if you know the larger picture, if you have a long-term vision, you may not succumb to any kind of pressure on the short term.
In the circulation business, has company taken a price hike? Was that the reason for the 9% growth?
Yeah, it has both impact. It has the price hike impact, which was taken a couple of quarters back. So we are getting the advantage of that. And also there's a circulation growth. Especially the markets like Bihar and all that, Rajasthan, Gujarat, where there's been a circulation growth. So there's a growth on that also.
So there has been no impact on that business?
No. Fortunately, demonetization has no impact on the circulation sales.
Right. Can you just talk to us about trends in the radio and digital business? Have they been better?
Sure. So radio, as you know, we had 17 stations and we acquired 13 more frequencies. So today we have rolled out around 26 of them, and we are hoping that balance 4 will roll out in a couple of months' time. And radio, if you look at the 9-month number, we are at 21% total growth, right, revenue growth over there, and a very strong, healthy bottom line. And we expect that to continue going forward. Digital is a pretty interesting story, because over there from 35 million unique visitors last year, we are at 80 million unique visitors. And the top line growth is also pretty good. Our focus and our entire attention is not on the top line at all on the radio, in the digital. Idea is to grow the unique visitors. So we are saying internally, from this 80 million visitors, how do we go to the 200 million unique visitors by next year?
Right. So digital would be the biggest contributor in terms of percentage growth. It may be small absolute right now, but it will be the biggest contributor.
Yeah, as a percentage, digital is growing at around almost 26%.
And can you just tell us about your target audience into digital? What sort of target audience is there, and do you think digital would see better growth or more clients coming into that area?
So in terms of digital, if I have to make an assumption of my consumer base, which is the readers, the audiences coming on to that, so almost 50% they come from my markets only, and balance 50% come from the markets which are beyond me, which are like Bombay, Delhi, or even US or Australia, UK. My Gujarati website gets a lot of traction from there. And advertisers are largely the same, those who are in print and radio.
Right. Also, just let's talk about the cost side as well. Raw material expenses increased by 6.4. Was that on account of raw material prices going up?
Out of that, 4% is the raw material price. The newsprint price went up by 4%, and the balance is the number of copies going up.
Right. And I was just looking at, the other revenue, other operating revenue in the print. It seems to be higher. Has there been some accounting changes over there?
No, there's no accounting change. It's more on the account of job work done and some more printing things what we do internally for using our machines during the daytime. That's the revenue coming from there largely, and the interest income is also sitting in that.
Right. Just a word on the dividend that you have declared. It's a fixed policy that you're looking at in terms of percentage sharing, or it's a quarter-to-quarter call that the board takes?
Our dividend policy is very simple. That company wants to give out whatever excess cash company feels is lying in our books. We want to give it back to our stakeholders, because company feels that there is no point keeping the excess cash in the balance sheet, because if we are not using it, it's better to give back to our stakeholders.
And a word on FY18. Do you expect once demonetization, remonetization noise is behind, you would get better ad growth and circulation growth?
We are very positive going forward, even for this year also, and we believe that this effect is going to couple of months, it'll be over, and then we should look back at a strong double-digit growth going forward.
Right. Sir, thank you so much for taking out time for us. Good to get in a perspective. DB Corp giving an inline numbers this quarter. The first half, that's the October and the November month, did well. Then post demonetization, there was a big slowdown. But overall, there is a marginal growth into ad as well as circulating revenues.